Welcome to Warblog. Today we're going to look at this capture of Port Harcourt scenario. It's interesting because it's all part of this sort of, obviously, the Nigerian Civil War. But I can't remember which one came first. I think I put Advance on Abba, and then I realised that Advance on Abba was part of Oweri. Then I realised that Oweri was actually the other end of the Port Harcourt scenario. Now what I was going to do was actually put Port Harcourt to Oweri, which is the one that's missing. But I thought I'd then go back and actually do the capture of Port Harcourt, because that's actually what they did as well. It's not as finished as I'd like, because I haven't actually read all of this. I'll have a quick look at it now. I love all these old newspaper things. But if it decides to load up, maybe not. Oh no, there we go. So there it is. There's the article. Under a tree, some 3 or 4 miles away, Colonel Benjamin Adekuno, commander of the 3rd Nigerian Division, briefs his officers. So there's another thing I've not put in. 3rd Nigerian Division are there. This eccentric, unpredictable soldier with gleaming eyes and a fierce moustache. When was the last time someone had a fierce moustache? Has directed perhaps the most remarkable operation of the war, beginning with the seaborne invasion of Calabar last October. See, I haven't actually read this yet. I'm thinking, that's how I've got to do next. I've got to do that seaborne invasion of Calabar. And then back onto Harcourt, and then Harcourt to Oweri. It's just so good. The advance from there began in March, involving the crossing of 2 big rivers, and although helped by the population who were mainly hostile to the Ibos, it still imposed considerable supply problems. To journalists, he explains his plan to isolate Port Harcourt by enclosing it on 3 sides, leaving only desolate, inaccessible creeks and swamps to the south. But he intended to keep an escape corridor for the Ibo citizens fleeing northwards towards their homelands. I saw a video actually, and it said that they actually did just create a corridor for everyone, because they wanted. It's quite often, I think it's well, obviously it's not just Sun Tzu, whatever it is, the great war philosopher, but he said always give your enemy option to retreat. I think the implication being, if you don't, it's not fair, but if they give them an option to retreat, they'll actually retreat sooner rather than later. I'm not going to read the rest of this, but I should. I sort of, this is the cream on the cake, the article, and I'm just so stuffed I can't eat it. But so I'm going to jump into play mode. So obviously we've come from then our seaborne invasion of Harcourt, wherever it is. Calabar. Seaborne invasion of Calabar. I've really got to remember to do that. Now, the thing that makes me really quite interested about this is that if you look at it, I don't know, let's use this colour. there's this river coming down here. Now in theory we want to go this way along this road, but we have to cross this river and that's difficult. Now we can also come this way, and obviously there's a bridge there, but we can cross these streams. We don't have engineers to create bridges here. I was going to put some in, but I decided not to. At least I can always add them later. But this looks like the easier route. But is it more defended? And I started to think about that, and it's interesting. I mean, I haven't concluded my thoughts on it, but there's a few things to sort of bear in mind. First, what we've got down here, obviously, is a bridge. And the artillery, in theory, will play a key part in all of this. So they've got one artillery piece there. Can't see it very well with that. Let's get a different colour for the artillery. One there, and one there. But the Nigerians have got a stack there, and a stack there. So they outnumber them. So this will obviously have to attack that. Then this will actually have to attack that. So what will happen? Presumably the Nigerians will win the artillery duel. And once they do, they'll just be able to sit there and blow anything up that's in there. Now, the thing that is intriguing about that is because that might be the proper course. But the one thing that is consistent with all of these games is you don't want to do the proper course because it takes so long. So in theory, to destroy these artillery pieces, what's that? Maybe 2 or 3 turns? Maybe we could do it quicker, but maybe up to 3, maybe even longer than that. And then, only then, can we start attacking what's there, and that will take, 2, 3 turns to get each stack, 4 turns to get each stack, and they'll just keep reinforcing it with a big long train of reinforcements. They could even probably set up a 3-way toggle to reinforce, recover, reinforce. So getting over here could be a simple matter of winning an artillery duel and storming across the bridge when the odds are weaker. However, going this way seems to be the better option because we don't have to do all of that. So all we'd have to hold is that, and in theory, and I get the feeling this is going to be it's going to be just a big chew like this. Just hold there and send everyone else around here. Now, the only other thing to say about what I did bother to read in the article was that they are attacking from 3 sides. So if they're attacking from 3 sides, presumably that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3, leaving them the option to route across this unpassable river. So perhaps that's where they will route through. So that means we've got to sort of presumably come from here, and in some way be coming from there, but this could be because we just fought around here and came here. So Port Harcourt is a tough cookie. Now, just a little recap on the artillery positions. Obviously there's artillery here. They've also got artillery here. Now this artillery is sort of there and designed and placed there. I did it deliberately, but not with a great deal of thought, to interdict this passage here. So they've got, I don't know how much range, I think they've got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they can get every hex. I didn't count that before, but they can get every hex in there. And they can't be attacked. And then they can only be defeated by artillery. But, so, going that way, in theory, is not great. The only thing to say, it's not an artillery barrage. Not everything's going to get hit. Because there's only 2 units, they'll only get basically the equivalent of 2 attacks a turn. So if they've got the numbers, that's not really going to be a problem. I think we've got a duty to go both ways, and Depending on how it all goes, I might or might not add some engineers so they can just build a bridge and make it really easy. The only other thing to say at this point, I'll leave all the squiggly lines on but try and choose a different colour, is that they get a lot of, the Nigerians get a lot more troops than this, and they get reinforcements, in the sense that they're not reinforcements, they're staggered, so their arrivals come over the next 7 turns. And so what you might want to do is spend your first 7 turns just doing artillery, and then when you've got all your units on the board en masse, then start playing. And that's what I said at the beginning. It's quite boring doing it like that. It's like, maybe not. I wonder if that's just mist. Looks as though it should be green. And that. I wonder if those are just me not flagging it all up. So there's another fantastic drawing. Right. So in the first instance, I think we've got to consider what we've got. Well, we've got some armour up here, but there's not a lot of armour in the game, so there's 1 there and 2 in there, so it's 3. We could probably, a lot of these enemy units, a lot of the Biafrans are 1s. Now they're on the wrong side of the river, really. But we've got one artillery piece there and 2 there versus his 2. Don't actually have enough artillery, really. Well, what I'm going to do with my tanks is I'm going to bring them down this way. I'm going to try and take this bridge, and in order to do it, I need these big hitters. I'm not going to bother moving anything. I'm going to fire all this artillery onto that. I think armour can fire across a river. I mean, I know it can, but like artillery, as opposed, I think what it does an assault, and just like this does, it does a combat, but it can't be AR, so you can sort of use it as artillery. So maybe those armoured units can help here. But we just did 2.7 on that, so another big hit on this. No effect is not a big hit, it's the complete opposite of a big hit. Oh well, we've managed to knock him back a bit. I'm not going to move anything else, because I don't really want to waste too much time doing fiddly things that aren't going to do anything anyway. It's the Biafran player's turn, and he's got things to do. Right, so decisions. Now obviously for the Biafrans as well as for the Nigerians, really, the situation is exactly the same as it always is. And that is, well, talking nonsense here. There's 2 fronts. There's basically this front and obviously this front. It needs the bigger ink. And so obviously for the Nigerians, it's similarly. there's that and that, obviously getting across the river. But I think for the Biafrans it's a more significant consideration because we got to decide which side of the river all of this stuff consolidates on. Do we send things down this way? Do we send things down this way? Or do we keep everything back? Those are the main three options. The other options are in consideration for whether we reinforce or whether we retreat. Because we could start retreating. Now this side, because of the river, it goes all the way up to there. I think we've got a fantastic ability to defend. And maybe some fords would have been right. That might be right. Seems really significant, that. But now these ones might want to start falling back sooner. Maybe pinning a line from that down to there, falling against these things instead of trying to defend. So we could fall back really quickly and then form a really heavy defence around Harcourt, like the newspaper article inferred or suggested. You see, so we've got things here that could in some way be brought back in part, because we could probably defend this, but if we lose, they're just going to come flooding through. That's the problem. Right, well it is an artillery duel, and we know they've got artillery there, so let's fire everything we've got on their artillery. All the Biafrans have 3 units. That's interesting. I wonder where the other one is. They've done quite well. 1, 2, 3, there he is. Right. We want to leave everything as it is, really. Except for here. Oh, it's moved. Okay. Right, well that's that. See how many Nigerian reinforcements we get. I didn't quite catch all that, but I think that's a fair amount. Well, we really want to take that artillery out if we can. Okay, so he's in routing territory. He's possibly going to rout. Yes. So we're winning the artillery battle. We've obviously got armour. Okay, Biafran turn. It's interesting actually, although I am speed playing it a little because it's late. I feel we've got a lot of units, but neither side want to really move much because we're just waiting for the results of all this artillery exchange. It's the Biafran turn. No, they can't move because if they move, they won't be able to fire. So we're committed. We have been doubling that up, so they've got an advantage there. Where's the mouse over? 3.9, 2.8, so not great damage. We're not going to do anything from here. We've got the option now. I didn't fire the artillery last time. Let's wake them up a bit. Yep. That only means the artillery is going to start coming back down, in theory. And what I am going to do is just okay. Now that's that. Okay, well, we've got to start firing our artillery back. Looks like we're going to win. I think he's well out of range. Yep. So, but we do want to move him into range. 2 damage. 1.4. Okay, so it's now a Biafran turn. I feel like I'm playing the First World War here. We can't get out armoured into swamps. This is all swamp. Interesting. So here we've still got our 2-to-1 odds. No, this is equal, isn't it? It's 1-to-1. It's 2-to-2. Oh, that was. Oh, look at that! They've got some artillery. Okay, and gonna fire back at this. No effect. End turn. Well, can we get this artillery on there now? No, only 1 unit. 1.2 damage. Yes, we can fire. See, we can fire across the river, but yeah, I knew we could do something like this. Now, in theory, we can't get an AR. A DR. That's pushing up to 6.6. This is interesting, really. I was looking at a few of the other games, or one of them in particular, and I realised the exciting thing about the game I was looking at was that the interesting stuff was to come, like the battle for Harcourt. We haven't got there yet. We're just doing the preamble here, but it's so enticing. You know, this has got to come out. There's got to be some balance here, and they were developing a nice line along that riverfront, and here, and there. So we've got this. This is obviously where the line stops. Port Harcourt. Nice defensive line there, defensive line there, defensive position here. It's all becoming quite apparent. But I've really got to do something in this turn. So we can get rid of this artillery piece. Oh, we might never get across this. Okay, the Biafran turn. Oh, it's the Nigerian turn, so right. We've lost our artillery piece there, so we're now not doing so well. We've really got to try and get rid of this artillery piece. Yes, got it. There's quite a bit of stacking up in there. Can we afford to bring this artillery down? Let's take this artillery out first. Got it. But we're now going to have to bring the artillery down. Okay. What you're not noticing, I think, is the fact that these are probably coming quite nice stacks now. One damage on the artillery. What I'm going to do, oh, it's a long way. Okay. I'm going to start bringing the artillery down. Just protect it. Leave everything else as it is. Okay. Ooh, 1.6 against his artillery. And that's it. Biafran player. With his rockets. His artillery. 0.8. And he's going to play the same game. Nigeria. One. 0.8. Okay. 1.2. Is it 3? And return. .8, 4.4. We're winning the artillery duel, but only just. Need much less than 1.6. I'm obviously playing with it in the favour of the Nigerians here. They're losing it slightly, but we've got this coming in. And these two really slow chasers. Well, they can start actually shooting at each other now. So I'm going to protect them. Because that idea came to me during the Biafran turns where it belongs to the Biafrans. Nigerians have figured it out. Oh, good hit. Oh, crappy hit. Oh, 2.5? We're really going for it there. 6.9. Okay. The Nigerians are going to fire back. .4. No effect, no effect. .4. It's at 5 now. Nigerian turn. Can we do it? No, but we've got 1.9 against them. 8.8, they gotta go soon. .7. Look at that big stack. We've got to get across this river. On .2. Oh, and here. Oh, no effect. Nigeria, Biafra, Nigeria. Did I press it once or twice? Oh, it's 5. Okay, so it is a Nigerian turn. I think I've skipped something in my head. Got him. .1, 6.8, 3.5. Okay. 5.2, 3.1, so I've got a chance of a route. Got another chance of a route. No, 2.4, they're really catching up on that. Nigerian player. It's a real game of, and it's not chicken, is it? It's just really quite intense. Routed, that's what we needed. Plus 2.9 on the other one. 8.3. Now there's no more artillery down there. So obviously, I think we can reach, we can start firing on this. Let's see what happens. You see, they shouldn't retreat. Can we recover? Oh, 2.9, 2.9, but that's not 11.7 and 8.5. Oh god. The thing is, as long as the artillery's still alive, they still seem to work. We're going to put all our tanks back. Oh, I see, we can't move through the swamp, we've got to go this way. Got it. Right. That means we've now got the upper hand. Well, the Biafrans now have to make a choice. Now we've got some artillery here, and I did think about it, but I think we really need to save that. But can they actually, is it worth holding here now? And we can even start advancing here, look. That's the Biafran turn. We're going to hold for one turn, just see what happens. And what happens is this. So we're going to continue our artillery barrage. But they'll probably recover. At this rate, they'll just recover every turn. But we've got 2 units to do that with now. So that's our line. Okay. Well, here it's starting to get tricky. Because they can surround this hex next turn. And this is an interesting one because it doesn't really serve a lot of purpose, and we should really bring it back. Let's leave it like that. Okay. We need more than one on any unit to actually make it worthwhile. We're not really getting it, but got a bit there. Let's block that route off and cut them off there. Okay. Didn't do the attack, did I? Oh well, we'll leave that. We're not going to do anything. We've got no artillery to fire with. Well, this is it. I mean, this is what we can do. This is all there is. Yep, that's what we need. We need to at least be doing more than one damage with each hit. Oh, that was a good one. We need to be hitting them more than they can recover. So we're in the 4s. That's good. And up here. Three to 1. Let's see what we can do here. Attack that next turn. Attack that next turn as well. Right, they've got to start thinking now. They're going to have to fight their way out of this. Unfortunately, they're all infantry. They have to fight their way out of this as well. Unfortunately, there's a good way to go, but they're not very strong. Oh, an AR, and they got removed. Well, that was so handy. Right. We've only got a few minutes left. Let's just see what this next round of artillery does. 2.6. No effect. That's really not what we want. Okay. So the rest is on 5.9 to 0.5. I'm not going to bother with any more attacks. I'm going to leave it at that 'cause it's 55 minutes. But I think it's just starting to get quite exciting and definitely in the Nigerians' favour. But it was very hit and miss. Now, the thing that I think I would like to do, moreover, is to actually start that northern advance sooner rather than later. Instead of doing it then, I should have started right at the beginning, or at least when I felt that I had the numbers. But that was definitely interesting. It's definitely one of those ones that's sort of got, well, we can see what happens when we get to here and here, and will they be able to hold the bridge? Interesting. Okay, I'll speak to you later. Cheerio.